Unfortunately, L'Enfant was difficult to work with, and George Washington fired him. Andrew Ellicott and Benjamin Banneker, whose roles were perfect, actually completed the work begun. The city of Richmond, 100 square miles, shaped like a baseball sold his library to re-establish the Library of Congress. Ironically, he died on the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, July 4th, 1826, the exact same day John Adams also passed away, just a few hours later. State-sponsored murder of an estimated 11 million people, 6 million Jews, and 5 million others. The Nazis, who came to power in Germany in January 1933, believed they were racially superior and that the Jews, being inferior, posed a threat to the German race. That across the city grid create circles and squares with pleasant green space. Shortly stop at the Renaissance Mayflower Hotel, which has a long history for hosting political and diplomatic events. It was here that FDR worked on his inaugural address, Harry Truman resided early in his presidency, and FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover often ate here. The hotel has had its fair share of scandals, and the names of Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton, and Elliot Spitzer are just a few of the special names. This is your stop for the DuPont Circle. Also in this vicinity are the Phillips Collection, the Textile Museum, and Metro Rail. The Voice of America, or VOA, is a dynamic multimedia broadcaster funded by the U.S. government who broadcasts accurate, balanced, and comprehensive news and information to an international audience. Voice of America located across the street from the National Museum of the American Indian, was established after Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor and Germany's declaration of war against America. From the beginning, VOA promised to tell its listeners the truth, regardless of whether the news was good or bad. In reality, we had little choice. Inevitably, the news that the Voice of America would carry to the world in the first half of 1942 was almost all bad, recalled John Houseman. Only thus could we establish a reputation for honesty, which we hoped would pay off on that distant but inevitable day when we would start reporting our own invasions and victories. Is a hotel stop serving the Washington Hilton, the Courtyard Marriott, and the Churchill Hotel. It was here, just a few feet away from where this bus was stopped, where Ronald Wilson Reagan, our 40th U.S. president, was shot in an assassination attempt on Monday, March 30th, 1981. While leaving a speaking engagement, President Reagan and 3 others were shot and wounded by John Hinckley Jr. Reagan, just 69 days into his presidency, suffocated in 1907. Washington, D.C. is a city well known for the many unique statues, monuments, and memorials of historic and artistic merit that grace its streets and buildings. The National Park Service cares for about 120 of these. There are approximately 21 that are located within the jurisdictional boundaries of Rock Creek Park.
Под нашим флагом?
Soldiers' home on a hill 3 miles from the White House. During the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln spent June to November 1862 to 1864 in a 34-room Gothic Revival cottage there. He reportedly made his last visit to the house on April 13, 1865, the day before his assassination. He found cool breezes and quiet. Lincoln was staying in this house when he wrote the final draft of the Emancipation Proclamation in September 1862.
Наш район.
The turn of the 20th century, DuPont Circle and its grand avenues became a place of wealth and fashion, the center for great mansions and castles. Only a few of those homes have survived until today, and none are as intact as the Hurech House Museum. Containing most of its original furnishings and decorations, the Hurech House's rooms are snapshots of the late Victorian era. They reflect the life of Christian Hurech, a self-made businessman who came to America with $200. Now travel towards the charming neighborhood of Georgetown, which is the oldest neighborhood in Washington, D.C., dating back to 1751. This area, bordered by the Potomac on the south, Rock Creek on the east, Georgetown University on the west, and Burley, a residential area, on the north, has always possessed its own style, which is part of its charm. As we turn onto P Street, you will notice Rock Creek Park on the left, DC's favorite area for rural retreat. Our next stop will serve Rock Creek Park. Please note our buses pass along this route regularly. To respect the neighbors living here, we will pause our commentary until we are back in the commercial district of Georgetown. This is a great time to appreciate the remarkable architecture and beautiful trees of this historic neighborhood. This is your stop for Rock Creek Park.
Прикольный райончик. Я говорю, прикольный райончик. Да.